Time now for your forewarned weather with Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy.
Happy Friday, everybody, and happy August. We've made it.
Well, I don't know if we've made it, Sarah. I'd love to think that we've made it, but that hot, dry, windy mess that we've seen for June and July, that's going to go with us.
That's definitely something.
Into August, right? So we've made it to that, and that's exciting. I hope you had a great start to the month. Let's go ahead and begin with what we were dealing with, because we had some hazy sunshine, and you probably noticed it. Time-lapse video coming from Nelson Peak. This is in the northern Uintas, Oakers. And as you look down into the valley this afternoon, you see some of that wildfire smoke and the sun going down. Now, we've been battling smoke and our air quality for the last several days. Futurecast smoke shows the haze that we were seeing and that we're going to continue to see as we head into our Saturday morning. A more westerly flow pushing some of those thicker plumes over to the east, getting them out of the way. But look at this. By 1 p.m. over the Wasatch Front, we will see some hazy skies. So that smoke is lingering and wants to do so. We know as long as these fires are burning, you heard those fire experts say, we need a season-ending event to put these fires out. Well, that just means smoke is going to continue in both of these areas for as long as those fires burn. Moderate air for your Saturday. Are you excited for Saturday? I hope you are. We're going to see that moderate air along the Wasatch Front and on the eastern side of the state this time of year. It's a mix of ozone and elevated particulate matter brought to you by that wildfire smoke. Iron and Washington County with moderate air, most likely going to see some ozone as the winds will be blowing. Great shot from Lake Mountain looking over the Utah Valley area. They had a little bit of smoke, but that's a great, thank you, Doug. You know, you can always send us your weather photos, weather@abc4.com, or you can go to abc4.com and just click submit. We make it easy. Highest wind gusts, double digits in Cache Valley, Salt Lake, West Desert. So we just know that the winds haven't relaxed. You know, they were a little decent today. They decreased slightly from where we were yesterday, but unfortunately, we're still battling breezy conditions, and a critical fire risk returns into tomorrow. You see that in red, critical fire danger with an elevated fire threat for the rest of the Beehive State, with the exception of the Great Salt Lake Desert and Mountains. That leads us to our red flag warnings, which are currently in effect for the Central Mountains and the South Central Mountains. That expands tomorrow at noon. That includes the Swell, the Tavaputs, the LaSalles, the Abajos. We know these areas are extremely dry, and with the wind we're going to see for our Saturday, that fire threat remains high because any flames, well, they'll spread quickly. We've seen that with Monroe Canyon. Highs today, 95 in Salt Lake. That's average. We're supposed to be there. So we're kicking off August on a seasonal note. Unfortunately, we just have that smoke with it. 90s on the eastern side of the state, 103 in St. George, 102 is average there. It was a hot day, but we expect that at this point. Upper 70s by the time we close out the newscast with clear conditions. We'll see low 70s along the Wasatch Front, warming things up tomorrow with that hazy sunshine, getting into the upper 70s by 9 a.m. and continuing to climb to seasonal norms right around those mid-90s. You ready for the heat for your Saturday? Well, I hope so. Southwest flow noticeable there, becoming a little westerly, where those fires are burning. Dry conditions. That's how we've been. Great time lapse coming out of Ivins. Those clear skies to start the day in Washington County. They continued all day. They're going to be there tonight, and they're going to be there tomorrow. Let's look at our Futurecast model here. It wants to put the potential for a few pop-up storms in the northwestern corner of the state by tomorrow, late afternoon, early evening. Now, we're going to watch this because models are not all agreeing, but there is a chance that we could see some development. And because we're very dry at the surface, likely just gusty winds, but notice how that tracks across the lake. That's an outlier there. That means that we have the potential to see a storm or two, most likely north of I-80. The rest of the state, dry, hot, windy, and really not substantial moisture. We're just talking about gusty winds and possibly some lightning. We don't want a new fire start. Wet weather just not in the picture here with that high pressure in control. We actually talk more about fire with a fire weather watch for Monday afternoon into Monday evening. So already issued, meaning this will likely evolve into a red flag warning to start next week. Let me show you the reason why. Upper level Futurecast illustrates it well. We've got our high pressure, four corners high with a clockwise flow. That amps up our southwesterly winds. Moisture goes around this ridge of high pressure, but as we head into the beginning of next week, we get this incoming low. It's got a counterclockwise flow. So working in tandem with the high, strong winds, that's fire danger, because we're already hot. We already have dry fire fuels. That ridge will bring the heat, but it also blocks moisture unless it's tapping into a tropical moisture source, which we haven't seen. It's monsoon season, more like a non-soon. We haven't seen it. Precipitation just very meager. The last 2 months, August starting out very dry, 90s into tomorrow, 99 in Moab, 104 in St. George, hazy sunshine, smoke-filled skies for some. The possibility, it's just a slight chance in the northern Wasatch Front. Triple digits for the next 7 days in southern Utah. Fire threats will stick around. That includes in Washington County, especially as those winds increase Monday. Here's the Wasatch Front. Seasonal temperatures, slight chance. I just showed you why on the futurecast for that northwestern corner of the state, but really no moisture, hot, dry. We see those drought conditions worsening. We could really use a little rain.
Yeah, I mean, welcome in August.
I mean, maybe turn around, go back and get the welcome gift. Bring a gift.